Hello, this is Greg Robin Smith, the Managing Director of the Washington Shakespearean Festival, to you, our fans, our board, our friends, our fellows, and this is a quick wrap up for what's been happening with us lately. And I think it's quite a lot. One, going to New York City to see King Lear, starring Kenneth Branagh, live at the Shed, which is a somewhat new theater space there. That's happening Thanksgiving, and then I'm coming back to perform a Ben Franklin performance in Bremerton on the 3rd of December, then going back to New York, coming back on the 7th, and I have a Renaissance performance presentation to do and judging of other bardic entries up in Mount Vernon, our other home, and that'll be fun. Then we are going to conduct a Bardic Championship tournament up in Bellingham, which I'm looking forward to, and I have been put basically kind of in charge of it, which is quite an honor. And a lot of dear friends up there, including one of our official customers for the WSF, Reed Giho. And then we're going to be taking the Glob Theater down to 12th Night in Portland, which is a medieval Renaissance celebration down there for one of the recreation clubs. They're out there, and the Glob will actually be inside and be used all weekend long for performances and classes and video and backdrop, etc. And I'll be doing a lot of performing there as well. Then a couple weeks later, there's the Ursulmus Medieval Fair Tournament up in Monroe, Washington, in Snohomish County, and then the Glob will be there all weekend long, so possibly our Glob and our Globette, which is our new round-topped wagon, which is coming on board sometime this month, we hope. And hopefully we'll have some pictures up of what that looks like. Musically, I am performing with a couple different groups. I'm still doing solo work at Renaissance fairs, and then I'm also doing work with a group called the Blarney Tones, which is up to an 8-member band. Celtic punk, so they do some variety of that style of music. Think Rum Jacks, think Dropkick Murphys. That's kind of the energy of the group. And working with them, they're the official Celtic punk band of the WSF. And another group we're working with is Socks and Buskin. And I just decided that this will be the place where I put the pictures for the rest of this video, which will probably be in several parts because we're already almost at 3 minutes, and therefore I want to keep these fairly short so they can upload okay. So actually coming up to part 2. So Socks and Buskin is myself and 2 wonderful people, James and William, who live up in Canada, and we're going to try and be doing as many Ren fairs as we can, other performances as well, and just like the Blarney Tones too, we can always break down into smaller groups. The Blarney Tones, like I said, is an 8-member group, and these are the lists of instruments that they have in the group, and but they can also do a duo, solo, trio, quartet, quintet, sextet, etc., all the way up to the full eight groups. And we can recombine ourselves many ways. And that's the same way with Socks and Buskin, is that we can combine ourselves into a solo, duo, or trio. And still have a lot of fun. And then we're going to be doing a lot more Ben. We're kind of designing how we offer Ben, especially to our Ren fairs, as a fundraiser, where we normally say you hire us for the Ren fair, but we come out and we do a Benjamin Franklin presentation for you off either the days before or the days after, and it's just a fundraiser for you. It's not necessarily directly connected with your nonprofit, and a lot of people stumble over the process for that, even though it's not that hard, but it's not their wheelhouse. So we're going to start taking that on. We'll get the hall, we'll just give them the tickets, and they can sell them to their fans as best they can, but we're going to start owning those performances and just having them and getting the word of Ben on collaboration, on ethics, on working together, on working towards humanistic and enlightenment principles, so we can work towards a more perfect union. I think you've heard that somewhere before. And the WSF has received 2 grants, or is going to be receiving 2 grants from out of the Skagit Valley. And one is going to be a part of a fall fair that another group, I think they're called the LaConner Thrives group, and they're public support group, and we're doing a pop-up medieval fair as part of their efforts. And then another one is coming to us directly to just do a pop-up fair sometime in probably May, I think it is. That's still working out, but look for more news about that. We'll be able to hire about 5 different actor performers, possibly a couple of fighters in that who will also do other things, the maypole, maybe music, maybe some dancing, etc., and make a 2-hour Hell's a Poppin' type of presentation. We'll probably be using the globette for that one because it's very easy to pull up, set up, and go in like 15 minutes once you've parked somewhere in town. Then we've got many more appearances planned. We're still working extensively. We are a member with the Mount Vernon Chamber of Commerce, and we're working with them and those members too. Part 3. We produced an all-in-one flyer, which I will also attach here to the email or to the Patreon post of this. And this is something else we're setting out 2 Ren fairs to consider hiring us more than just me as a performer. Happy to do that, of course, but if we can bring an entire package, that's more what we're interested in. And so we've been working on this flyer a long time and very happy with how it's looking. Thank you very much for the people who've been contributing to that. There are other things happening, and I will come back and tell you about more of those, but that is a lot for a humble little company, and we're looking forward. Oh, excuse me, one other thing that did just pop into this poor brain of mine. We have a new branch, and it's in Idaho. It is the Washington Shakespearean Festival, Idaho branch. And we have a director over there and building a crew of actors, and they will be working with us in small affairs that can't afford to bring me out, but they will be there, and so they can perform there. And it's just part of our effort to help create a training program that we can pass on to people so this can grow and expand without me always being in presence, but maybe do things more online. I did have a successful class teaching my Magic of Shakespeare class to an online version of our continuing education class for the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and that was a lot of fun. And Seattle Central College is hired me to come back and teach in winter quarter a 7-session class of the Magic of Shakespeare at their campus on Capitol Hill here in Seattle. And then I'm teaching a class on Benjamin Franklin, a 2-part for the Western Washington University, what they call the ALL, the Academy of Lifelong Learning. And that'll be happening sometime in, I think, May or so. And then we start up a Ren Fair season again in May all the way through October. And we're going to be very busy, and it's a good way of bringing money into the company, and it's also a good way of just establishing our connections with the community and serving the community. And also, like I said, from now on, whenever I perform, I'm going to always try and do a Ben Franklin program as well. You can help if you're a Patreon patron. Thank you very much. Also, we have many ways of donating. We're also looking for people with time and facilities. If you have an old warehouse, if you have a house with a garage that you're not using, etc., or time just to help us in our administration. We, by the way, speaking of administration, we have been talking to a specialist in DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and very excited about them possibly coming on board. And so we hope that this pleases you, because we are growing, and we're getting donations, and we're getting support, and we're expanding our area of where we are going. And so thank you for coming along for the ride.